heart attack. Fast, fatal, heart impact. Past painful scars, in fact, I blast tasteful bars and packs. I back up my actions, fact, don't ask, grab reactions. Jacked attack with every word, then act with class as they hear me snap. I got nothing to lose, cause I fought and felt the bruise. Now I'm not the one confused, call the shots and they produce. I ain't lost, I'm finally loose. Pick a new silver excuse, I need the views to boost me to a new abuse of being used. Everybody wants a piece now, y'all can rest in peace now. You're dead to me, so peace out. Remember, you're discreet now. Get ready for defeat now.
Alrighty, hello everybody. This is Kirusho here, and now, before we do begin, let's give a brief little review of about a few things. Now, in the last part we had Deku and Amelia. These two ran off and eloped. They stole a Dratex military aircraft, and they flew across the Milky Way galaxy to find a planet where they can settle up. Or, well, settle down. Now, they moved everything they could here. They just came with the clothes on their back and made a home. The aircraft, thanks to its nanotechnology, they were able to make a few things, which made their lives a lot more easy. And well, they found that this planet was uninhabited in the area they had. There were no dominant life forms here. And it was odd. They had hardships with the winter. They had hardships in finding what may or may not be edible. And there were times whenever Deku, he fell sick, and Amelia as well did fall sick. However, they were able to recover. Now, this is kind of difficult. Both of them were trying to get used to this new life. And while it was challenging at first, eventually they were able to get onto their feet and fall into a routine where they had everything they needed. Now, life was perfect for them. They had their own little sanctuary, a place they can live, call home, and, well, you know, a place just all to themselves. However, they were ambushed by something and taken away. And we do currently pick up about a few days later with Deku and Amelia. Both of them are sitting down into a room. And Deku, he does currently go to reach his hand down and go to at least scroll across a strange device. As whenever the, screen will start to light up, you do have whenever Deku is going to sit down to the bed. And Amelia, she actually is going to sit back down onto Deku's lap. And she's going to at least wrap her arm around his back. As it does, they start to light up and indicate that it is recording not only audio, but video. Alright. Hello. This is, Izuku Midoriya. And Amelia Midoriya. And right now, okay. We're still both confused on a lot of things. Yeah. Confused is a strong word. More like surprised. Yeah. Okay, so where do we even begin with this? Well, there's the fact that apparently the installation or planet we were on is off limits. It's a restricted area. Yeah, there is that. Okay, like my wife did just say, apparently the planet we're on, the one that was orbiting a yellow star, it's under restricted access. Apparently the air there is toxic, which we didn't know about. Our scans indicated that it was perfectly breathable. However, under more, information being gathered, we learned that apparently our atmosphere, other species can't exactly breathe. Which we thought was not only somewhat obvious, but thinking about it more, does make sense. Apparently our atmosphere is highly toxic to other members of different species. Bacteria that our immune systems immediately filter out, or, they do at least have, enter our bodies and nothing happens, are apparently quite lethal to other species. Yeah, that is odd. And that's just one of the things we discovered. Apparently there are many species here aboard this... I don't even know how to describe this place. I describe it as a large orbital station. Amelia, this place is almost the size of, what, Australia? Maybe even larger? It's gotta be, what, bigger than the entirety of. It's gotta be at least half the size of a planet. Hmm, it's definitely bigger than Earth's moon. Yeah. So, anyways, we discovered that apparently the Dratics and the Traquaw, they're not the only species in the universe, which what we did somewhat understand and gather from not only the fact that we both know each other and we know about them, but because of my memories of alien species being wiped out and civilizations being destroyed. Which brings me to my next conclusion. Apparently, the planet we were on was a prison planet. The atmosphere was highly toxic to people who were there, and they lived in installations underground and on the mainland. Now, while it is very much concerning to me and surprising, there is what's even more surprising. Apparently, the alien species that found us, they were delivering prisoners. And whenever they did at least find abnormal readings on the planet, they found us. They've been observing us for quite some time. They thought that we were escaped convicts, and they were confused as to how we were breathing the atmosphere. However, there's another thing. Do you want to take it from here? Yes. Um, well, the other thing just so happens to be that one of the species among this station, planet, orbital, this place, one of the species among this place, they knew exactly what my species were. And I discovered that they gave technology to my species, which is strange to say, considering the fact that I had no record of as to what they look like. From depictions, we do understand they look like us, but apparently their species, they're, what's the correct term they wanted us to use? They are AI constructs given cybernetic form, and, well, they're similar to Dratex tech. Yes, they're apparently shapeshifters. They took on the form of humans, and they were there to secure us. Which says quite a lot. Considering the fact that the first time I apparently met the species that gave me technology and is responsible for most of my planet's advancements, I accidentally tore one of their arms off. Yeah, um, there is that. And, well, there's the whole thing about the Dratex technology as well. When they first captured us, they thought that we were the Dratex, which was very bad. However, when they did test us and at least look more at the technology and the craft, they found that it does not add up. They wanted answers. And there's apparently the fact that these people, they've never seen humans. Yes, well, there are some species that are bipedal like us with 2 arms and 2 legs. They are still vastly different. What was it you called them? Yeah, apparently there's a species here that they resemble dragonflies. And they do have exoskeleton like limbs, but more like a human face and somewhat of a humanoid body. However, they possess tails. Okay, this recording still doesn't make sense. Izuku, they asked us to do this. I mean, I understand. Okay, we have the Locons, the Zero, the Davrix, the Yenquil, and the fucking Quads. And that's just some of the species we can pronounce. We literally had to backtrack everything. And they had to read our minds just so they can understand not only fucking Japanese, but so they can understand your language. Izuku, I understand. It's still hard to process. Hard to process? Amelia, some of the people out there, I watched their civilizations die. I thought I witnessed extinctions. But they're still alive. I mean, hell, that's remarkable. Yeah, and that's just something that we understand about it all. Yeah, understanding everything else that they've tried to explain to us is still hard. The Dratrix craft, we did have to, sadly, temporarily give it over to them. And while I did make it quite clear that only I can pilot the technology aside from a Dratrix pilot, they're still skeptical about it. They want to take it apart and look at it and observe it. However, I told them much about how that's impossible. Yes, well, the Devrix, they're more inclined to look at this technology because it technically is organic to them. They're still very, well, they're not inclined to look at it. Yeah, that's another thing. Apparently, while our crimes have been dropped, we're still looked at suspiciously because of our strange relationship. Many of the species here, they thought that me and Amelia were the same species, which was heavily wrong. We understand that there are some species that they do have differences in their male and females, but then there are also species that they don't exactly work that way. Yeah, still trying to process that information. There's the plants, there's the strange lizard ones, which honestly sounds like a conspiracy theory from back home. I'm rambling again. And fuck, what was it? What was it? The Davrix? Yeah, apparently the Davrix are fucking robots, which, Skynet aside, is interesting and surprising. Yeah. Now, well, Deku and Maya, they do continue rambling on about this. You do however they do eventually end the recording. And Deku, he does try to think. They've been stuck in this room for a bit of time. And right now, they've been given certain information. And they talk to different aliens. And Deku, he's seen as somewhat suspicious. Whenever they did scan his DNA, they found that a certain percentage of it wasn't actually his own. And that concerned them. And Deku had to explain, which led to more questions. They wanted to know exactly why he had one of the world consumer's ships, and why his DNA, it was also, well, not mutated, but also somewhat alien, of a different genome, which they've identified. Now, the aliens, they were very confused. It was business as usual for their entire system. You have different species living in harmony and at least trying to gear up and understand the threat. They've been trying to avoid that war and just let it burn out. And, well, that's just the thing. While they have been somewhat defensive on their own sector of space, the fact was, that war, it's been going on for a very long time. And right now, somebody, they literally come strolling into their sector of space with not only one of the aircrafts or vessels used inside the war, but also with the fact that, hey, we've encountered both these species. Both of them have tried to fucking murder me, and I've killed both of them. And right now, there's a dead one not only inside my head, but apparently mutating my DNA. So there's that. Now, this was seen as very odd to them, and they did have to somewhat convene. Now, we do currently have one of our Deku, and what might they do at least go back through their own medical exams. And Deku, he is actually talking to a doctor, him with a translator inside his ear as the man does talk. Deku, he's currently talking to, well, a doctor that he is somewhat just staring at with somewhat amazement and awe. Currently, he's in a room where he can breathe, and he's not wearing a shirt. And the doctor, they are currently covered in a suit that would allow them to not only do what they need to, but completely protect them from the atmosphere. And Deku is just staring at them. Alright, we're still doing blood test. and we do want to understand exactly what's going on with you. Um, would you please stop staring at me? Sorry, sorry. It's just, you look very similar to certain things from my planet. Hmm. Well, aside from that comment, I'm not really surprised. Your species, they look very similar to something from mine. Really? Yes, we have a species of, well, I don't even know if you could understand the concept. Tiny little creatures. You mean insects? Uh, no. I wouldn't say insects. I mean, kind of like the low cons, but way smaller. I mean, the low con looks more like a beetle from my planet. However, it's not walking on two legs, and it doesn't have arms as thick and, well, you know, skeletal as that thing's. That's kind of rude. I'm still trying to get used to this. Well, I'll just chalk that up to the translator misinterpreting words. We're still trying to understand your language. And you said that there are multiple on your planet? Yeah, I believe there's over 100. Jeez, that is quite a lot. Is it? Well, for just one planet, yes. However, we might have to have you learn Galactic Basic. Galactic Basic? Yeah. Well, there are certain species that they can learn it. It's kind of one that we've been trying to adapt for many species, so as to allow communications more easily. Yeah, I had a few questions about that. Whenever we first came here, me and my wife, we were talked about a lot of things and put through a process that was very odd. Yeah, we kinda have to do that for many species. Okay, but still, certain hand gestures aren't allowed, certain actions aren't allowed, and we can't even walk a certain way? Well, I mean, you can, but you've also been informed as to what is happening with that. Yeah, apparently the OK sign isn't allowed. Hmm? The OK sign? Deku holding up his hands. As the man, he does go to somewhat turn and go to bring his hand to his face. Hmm? Is something wrong with that? Do not do that in front of any any of the quads. Um, why? That gesture is very obscene to their species. Um, but the quads, they're they don't have hands. Well, yes, that is quite obvious. They're a floating ball of gas. On my planet, we call it a cloud. Mm, but as your species would say, potato potato. Um, that's right. I'm guessing. Yes, you'd be guessing correctly. The translator will substitute certain things, yada yada yada. Now, we've done a test on all three of you, and we have confirmed. Wait, three of us? Yes, the three of you. Okay, my translator must be busted. Three of us. Um, yes? Is something wrong? There's only two of us. Deku holding up his hand. And the man he just go to bring his hand up and put Deku's hand down, telling him again not to do that. That's two. Um, to my species, that is not two. Um, okay, then how would you describe two? The man going to bring up his hand, as he does go to at least manipulate it in a certain way. And Deku does watch it. It turns into a strange shape, and the fact that this guy can manipulate his limbs, it doesn't exactly help. Um, does this mean something on your planet? No, it's It's just nothing. Hmm, interesting. That is how we say too. Okay, okay. Aside from having my entire fucking world blown again, your world's been destroyed. Okay. You understand sarcasm, correct? Certain species have it, yes. I'm using sarcasm. And a form of exaggeration. Now, if I can just continue. Ah, yes. Going forward, that will be quite the information to know with your species. Sarcasm and exaggeration. My species does understand that. Hmm. Okay. Good to know. So, just bear with me here. What is a bear? Eh, okay. You know what an expression is? A what? No, never mind. Now, Deku, he's annoyed, trying to explain to this doctor, maybe doctor, I'll just go with doctor, that there's only two of them. Him and Amelia were the only ones on that planet. Hmm? Yes. You, her, and the doctor going to at least say that. And he doesn't say anything else. And what? Oh my, you actually have no idea. Idea about what? Hmm. Yeah, this is quite the predicament. I'm going to have to go get another. I will just be I'm going to have to leave the room. The man turning and going to walk away, and Deku does watch the man do that, as he does go to somewhat. What is it? I'd say step out of the room, but well, I don't even really know. Anyways, now the man will just go to move out of the room. Deku watching the man walk sideways, as he's still staring at that. The man going to leave, as after a few minutes, Deku he's just waiting. Okay, what does he understand? Let's see. You have bug people. You have apparently sentient robots. And you have crab people, snake people, maybe? That's what he thinks the young krill are. At least they're shapeshifters, so they don't exactly stay to one shape. Okay, that's still bad. And then there's the clouds. Those ones were the most surprising to him. I mean, he understands that not all life would be, well, organic, but gaseous? That was a whole different surprise to him. I mean, granted, organic life, that is a possibility in the universe, but gaseous life, that one was a surprise to him. In fact, it was also pretty strange. How can a species exist without organs, blood, or really, well, a body? Apparently, that thing acts as some sort of, what, body to it? It's just so weird. Now, we do actually have one of our doctors come walking back into the room. And they do look at Deku. Deku going to look at a robot that has come walking in, as it is very tall. And they actually going to shrink down. Deku looking at the person as he does go from craning his head backwards to going to look down at eye level, as they do take on the shape of a human. And they do come walking forwards. A set of arms wrapped behind their back, as they do have two hands up. Alright. I'm Doctor, they're making weird sounds. Um, I don't know what. Okay, you can't apparently pronounce that. I'll make note of that. Anyways, I'm here to inform you of a lot. So, let's start a review. Okay, so if you're gonna tell me that the thing inside of my head is still alive, I kind of gathered that. Hmm? The the Trequa. Yes, the Trequa. Is it still alive? I don't know. I mean, we've talked about my mutated DNA. We've talked about the strange things going on with my body. And I've informed you already. I'm a human, yes, but not all humans have the powers I do. I've informed you. There are humans on my planet who have the abilities different. Most of my species, we can't levitate anything. We have no specialized powers. We just live on this atmosphere, the planet that we breathe, the planet that we live on. We eat, sleep, and do many other things. Most of the things that I do, you need heavy machinery to use. Heavy machinery to just do. Making object levitate can take tons of hours to create a device to do so. And, well, I don't know what to tell you. None of them can breathe underwater, but you can breathe a toxic atmosphere. Again, the atmosphere we breathe isn't toxic to us. Yes, it's toxic to many of the species here, but it's not to us. I mean, what is it? The only real toxic stuff to us apparently is what's healthy to other species. I mean, granted, a million species, they can breathe my atmosphere. And from my understanding, they can eat our food. I mean, I just don't understand the big deal about it. Species like yours are highly rare. Highly rare. Yes, in fact, we believe that a good percentage of them were wiped out during that war. That's still going on. Okay, I'm just confused though. You guys have all this manpower. You guys have all these people. From my understanding, you guys have thousands of species here. So, you have your own organized government. Why haven't you guys gone to fight? That is fairly difficult. We don't know much about our enemies. And from our understanding, your aircraft? Military vehicle. Yeah, it's the most well-preserved tech we have on the Dratix. Of course. Alright. Now, it's the most well-preserved tech we've ever seen. Practically flawless in every aspect and no damage. Yeah, my species, we managed to take one down, which is still a very high feat. Okay. But still, if you're gonna tell me the Trequa in my head's still alive, I can tell you, I killed it. I mean, granted this strange light aura appeared around my body sometime whenever me and Amelia got to the planet, but it's just never meant anything. I mean, my powers, they've increased rapidly in strength, but that's about it. Granted, I can also fly and, well, kinda see in the dark, but other than a strange light emanating off of me, and knowing information about other planets and, well, different alien dialects that I do somewhat have a grasp on, that's about it. I see. So would you say you've witnessed civilizations be attacked? I have, yeah. Okay. So, this actually isn't about you. Um, what? Yeah, we said that there were three of you. Okay, but I'm still not following. There are three of you. The alien, in your head, this Trequa, isn't alive. So, what would I be insinuating otherwise? Okay, so, it's just, if there's only three of us, there's no Trequa in my head, and there's nothing, what, a parasite in me? Your planet, the one you guys were talking about, was strange. If I don't have a parasite, I don't have a symbiote, I don't have the Trequa in my head, then there's nothing wrong with me. Yes, that's correct. So, there's something wrong with Amelia. What happened to her? Is she okay? She is perfectly fine. Um, but that makes no sense. It's a very beautiful thing. Um, hang on. Hang on. I worked as a detective back on my planet. Oh, so you're used to gathering information. Do you finally have the pieces put together? But, 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 that's impossible. Hmm? Oh, I see it finally clicked. Well, congratulations. That, that makes no sense. That isn't, we, she and I aren't. The minute Deku going to fall backwards. As the alien, or the robot, you're just going to stare at that. Them walking over and checking Deku's pulse. And they do at least go to write down something. Species does not suddenly die upon shock. Now, they do at least go to note that down. And they do go to look down at Deku. Before, when the tendrils inside their Medusa-like hair, it does go to extend outwards towards Deku before it is going to charge up. And it does go zap directly into Deku before it is going to jump up. Jesus! Oh god, that hurt. Are you alright? That was quite a low voltage. Okay. That... Fuck, how much volt was that? Mm, not very high. Still, was that too much for your species? Are you insulated against electronic currents? What? Translator must be messing up. Is your species insulated against electronic currents? No. In fact, they're quite lethal to us in certain doses. Interesting. Okay. So what about Amelia's then? You'd have to ask her. But are you saying that she's... Well, yes, I am. It's quite a surprise. While most species can hybridize, yours is very similar. In fact, the fact that she doesn't have an exoskeleton is quite surprising. However, that does just add more similarities to you both. Okay, hang on. How is that possible though? Me and her, we're not even from the same planet. Correct, yes. And you're saying that me and her, we were able to hybridize. Yes. Many hybridization is possible. Much of it is currently still under study, but most of it that we do understand is actually very much informative. Okay, still, that's a big deal for my species. And I'm assuming hers. I keep forgetting exactly how little your species does know. About exactly, well, everything. Okay, I understand that you're trying to relate to me, but you really don't understand anything about my species. Well, I do understand that you do have bits of metal and even cybernetic components inside your own body. Yes, I do. Yes, to my species that is very insulting. However, to yours, that is seems resourceful. Is it not? Yeah, I mean, I suppose. Then again, I would be permanently bedridden if I didn't have a metal spine. Yes, that is my point. You know very little about the universe as a whole. Your species, from my understanding, from at least interviews from your wife, if that is the correct term, have reviewed that your species took months to travel to other planets, even the closest one to you. Meanwhile, her species can traverse star systems. And I do not mean to sound rude when I do say this, however, I do understand that I will come off as it. Your species was quite literally on the side of the Milky Way where most life was exterminated. The fact that you and your species were overlooked or overseen or not even seen as advanced enough to warrant extinction was quite surprising. The area you were in, the, well, little cluster of systems, they were quite lucky. In fact, I'd say that your closest neighbor may have been advanced enough to be wiped out, considering the fact that your species just happened to survive. That still doesn't make sense. You've told me how old you believe that your species has been around. 3 billion? The start of your planet's formation? So, that's about millions of years, not even a billion, for your entire species to have organic life start to form on your planet. Does that ring a bell? Most planets inside of this side, or our area of space, they at least had life and even, well, primitive life around that time, which would soon become the dominant species. Okay, I'm understanding it, but so far we've just talked about the Milky Way. Yes? So what about outside the Milky Way? What about Andromeda? Hmm, that is not a word I'm familiar with. You'd have to explain. Okay. Wow, I'm finding it very hard to think. Okay, it might be the shock. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's a shock at finding out that I just, apparently, I'm creating a hybrid of a human and an Etso with my wife, who, me and her, thought we wouldn't be able to have kids together. Well, have you, and I do not mean to sound vulgar, as your species would put it, or insensitive, have you tried before? Huh, uh, that, that's, not a subject I would really like to talk about with, understood. Well, aside from that, it is all actually very professional here. I am, as your species would put it, a doctor. Okay, but back to Andromeda. Okay, it's the next entire system. I mean, you know how big the Milky Way is. What about the clusters around it? What about the other species around there? Oh, yes, that's correct. Well, so far we've never been able to contact any species from then, or even around there. And there are many theories as to why, many of which are very gruesome and very much not ones we like to talk about, but you could look into certain archives and explore more. However, I do have to be going now. I do have a other appointment with another species. But, okay, I mean, I still have questions. Okay, well, you can ask another doctor. Besides, I do not have time to talk to you. Your species is also very strange to me. Okay, but your species is strange to me. You're a robot. You're made of metal. Yes. And to my species, you are made of cells that are all grouped together. You are made of cells that are also foreign. Half of the cells most likely don't even correspond to your own biology, and are also strange. You're mostly made up of bacteria, and you drink fuel as a way to inebriate your species. Am I clear about that? Um, okay, that's harsh, but I think it's accurate and fair. Yes. Well, I believe it is also. Now, if you would excuse me, I do have to go. Now, the doctor will go to leave, and Deku is still trying to process that idea. He's gonna be a fucking father. He's gonna be a dad. Okay, so, apparently, a lot of shit has just been broken. Okay, so, apparently sci-fi, it's accurate in some ways. Apparently aliens, they can, well, you know, and create hybrids. Apparently that's possible. Okay, they're going to stand up and somewhat walk around the room. He's gonna be a dad. He's, oh god, he's gonna have a kid. Oh my god. Wait, that means that Amelia and him, whenever they were on the planet, just one more year and they could have had a family. Jesus Christ. Okay, but that information, it's huge. That information's big. I mean, granted, on Earth, that information might not be known. Oh Christ, is that information known on Earth? Oh God, how would that affect everybody else there? Now, Deku, he does try to think, as we do have whenever he does get the green light to leave the room. And he's going to put on a suit and walk out. Him going to walk down the corridor and go to pass by one of the many species that he does see. As he does see one that does look like a, well, cloud. And he also is going to pass by one that they do look like a, well, beetle on two legs. And he is just trying to wonder about a lot. As Deku is walking down the corridor, he is going to walk around it. Him actually having to push his body against the wall whenever floating jellyfish, or jellyfish-like people, do go to fly by. And they do just go to see out loud, something that Deku doesn't really understand. However, he either believed it to be move or excuse me. Now, Deku is still trying to think. Okay, a lot to process. Still, how is he supposed to go about that? This is... wow. Now, we do have for Deku to get back to his room. And he is wondering about a lot. As we do have whenever Deku, he does go walking over to the computer. Him going to bring his hand up and go to roll his finger over a ball. Before he is going to take a step backwards. Alright. This is Midoriya. And, I'm having a lot of trouble understanding a lot of things. And right now, I've learned a lot of information. They're going to smile a bit surprisingly. A genuine smile appears on his face. This is a lot of information to understand. Okay, well, I don't even know where to begin. I'm I'm shocked. Everything my species knows about space is wrong. I mean, organic life being made out of flesh? Apparently fucking hybrids are a thing, and I only found out today I was gonna be a dad. Holy shit, those words are still hard to believe. Jesus Christ. Okay. Okay. So. Okay, that still hits. Pretty shockingly. Jesus, stay on track. Alright. So. I need to talk to somebody. We need to get back to Earth. Oh Christ. How the fuck am I gonna talk to Adam about this? Does he even know? Shit, is he still alive? Crap. Jesus Christ, I completely blanked on the fucking... Oh God. Those people going against the crown. Jesus. Okay. Well. Apparently shock does wear off. Okay, well, I'm gonna have to talk to somebody in charge and see if we can get an aircraft. Maybe head back towards my planet. I mean, not our planet, but if me and Amelia can at least understand where we were, well, understand where we are, and head back to the planet we were at, then maybe we can backtrack. I mean, the ship should have a log inside of it that would allow us to return. Okay, well, I'm going to send a message to somebody in charge and talk to them about that. I mean, apparently they don't even know where Earth is. However, the solar systems and the area they said we were in was lucky to survive an extinction. Okay. Let's see. Okay. I'm going to end this log and then send a transmission. Okay. Who the fuck am I talking to? No one's ever gonna see this shit besides me and Amelia. Alright. This is Izuku Midoriya signing off. Now, Deku, he would go to end the message, as he does go to type in a few things. And whenever Deku, he does go to record his message and get done with it, we do actually have whenever Amelia does come walking back into the room. Amelia, she does have a look of shock on her face, and Deku is going to turn his head. As whenever she does go to see Deku, she's going to look right at him, and she does go to somewhat look worried. Before Deku, his smile does somewhat go to fade. Are you okay? Yeah, I'm fine. I, Her going to swallow heavily, trying to wonder about how to break the news to him. I, we, we need to talk. Um, is it about the baby? Her gonna freeze. How did you? They thought I knew, and yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I freaked out and may or may not have passed out from shock. That's a shocker. Yeah, I was then tased back to consciousness by a robot. Well, that's a new sentence. Yeah, but still, we're gonna be parents, Amelia. Yeah, yeah, still trying to process that. I mean, it's not weird, is it? I mean, granted, I'm happy, but I don't know what the fuck to do. This isn't territory my species has ever been in. Yeah, neither of mine. But maybe we'll be okay. Maybe we can figure it out. I mean, they told me about hybrids. They're possible and they exist. I talked to a doctor about it, and they told me, Izuku, yeah, I'm still processing it and still freaking out about it. Okay, I just need to calm down. Stress isn't good, right? It's bad. It's bad, right? It isn't good. Stress is bad for human babies. And if it's bad for your species, then yes, it's bad. Okay. We need to go over a lot and find out what to do and what not to do. Now, Deku will go to sit down. As Emma will walk over and go to sit down as well. Her going to lean her head against Deku's shoulder and go to start talking. And Deku does immediately start to hear a few weird things. However, yeah, he's trying to think about it. Well, that doesn't make sense. That one's off. That one's kind of accurate, and, well, that one just seems kind of completely out there. Then again, maybe if he had powers or telekinesis, yeah. Maybe if he had telekinesis as a baby, he probably would have done that too. Now then, with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed. Have an amazing day. I'll catch you guys in the next part.